So I always keep a busy schedule. I lie to everybody about having brain damage and being mentally ill. I keep a busy schedule rescheduling appointments at doctor's offices all around Washington, D.C. I'm over here at City Dental D.C. with one of my identifications that the people from the White House Peace Vigil gave me. Then I go to 3 other dentists today with 3 other identifications with the stuff that the people from the White House Peace Vigil gave to me. And then I give my bag of pills to some guy that looks like that who takes it away in grocery bags from the front of the grocery store who looks like a bum in a wheelchair. Not that guy. And then I'm going to go to 5 more dentists next week, and I just keep rescheduling appointments and getting pain pills. I think they put it in the water supply or kill people with it, or they shoot it up or sell it. I don't know, but at least I can be homeless and eat. I also forgot to say that I am an animal lover and I have a number of pets. And I also go to the veterinary offices. And this is from the White House Peace Vigil people as well. I take all my different IDs to different veterinary offices and I fill up my backpack with pills for pain pills for my pets and keep rescheduling their pain pill appointments. So those pain pills are basically the same as human pain pills, basically the same as psych meds, basically the same as medicine, but they're called street drugs when they sell them on the streets. And some people go to prison for them. Some people get a master's degree and a doctorate degree to sell them. And some people don't get in trouble. And some people are the police that are dirty pigs. And we got to change the laws and help us stop doing this to everyone, like me. And you want to know what they say to snitches who steal all the platinum and cash and shit and bongs and all my weed and the cannabis? You know what they say to snitches who snitch out them fucking crazy Bonnie crazy ones, them ones gone Bonnie plaid, blue and black, feeling the pain from the government, that pain. The blue and black is about the pain, black and blue. It has nothing to do with anything American, but it does have to do with the American government who's made the world black and blue and in pain. Them Bonnie men who wear the plaid, Anyways, stop messing with them and start messing with all the super predators out there. You feel me? They release them every day. I'd love to see them try to stop skeletons me from going to all the veterinarian offices and all the dental offices with all my identifications from the White House Peace Vigil crews. Then I'd take them to all my apartments and on my mansions in the suburbs and eat all the pills. Psych, I'm just kidding. They gave me all the IDs. I have to go from dental office to dental office, veterinary office to veterinary office, psych office to psych office, and homeless center to homeless center every day to collect all my money and pay just so they can steal it from my fake homeless place at Valley Place. See, they give me the platinum, the money, the gold, all the cash and the weed and all the power to change everything. They're not even friends with God, but I am. But then guess what? They steal it from me. You know, peace can mean many things. Now, to really define peace and understand what you're talking about, you have to get into other languages. You know, like La Paz, Tranquilo, or just feeling blissful and enlightened. Peace. When you don't have any troubles or things to think about, you're kind of living in the moment, you're enjoying things. You don't worry about if you sound funny, if you look bad, if you smell bad, if you're missing teeth or homeless. That's called peace. There's inner peace. There's peace around you. But then there's also a piece of ass, piece of crack, piece of shit, and then there's human trash, white trash, and there's garbage. Garbage is biodegradable. I'm garbage. Hey, you know, I think I was in this building like 20 years ago. I think my friend Kelly lives in that building. And if that's true, then she is my friend. And if she's in your building, Kelly, if you know that this is me outside your building, you can come out and we can smoke weed and you can buy me lunch or have me up to your place and I can eat lunch at your house or your apartment right up there at the Brittany here in Washington, D.C., where they say fuck you to you and me, except for not to everybody. As you may see, that's the Washington Monument back there. I spray painted the word loss on that in 1998 while I was buck naked. Then I was in the psych ward later that night, but the news portrayed as I was a man on the run for weeks afterwards. Believe that. Hey, here's a good one that's actually real fucking true. It's not some crazy shit. I used to get free art supplies, a lot of them, for years now, from Plaza Arts DC, from their manager, Alex Donahue, and her assistant manager, Jonathan, and some of this other skateboard types and artists in there. Yet yesterday when I went in there, they totally have switched up. The last few times since the election, they've switched up and they say, you can't have no art supplies, Nate. And actually yesterday, Alex had the nerve to say, less marijuana. If you don't smell like it, you can get some. kind of crap is that? She's an artist, not a pharmaceutical rep. Anyways, no free art supplies from Plaza Arts for this dummy anymore. I guess that's what happens when the Republicans come in. You see how it runs is red and blue, but they use white and black also now. So red, white, and blue and black. And so when the president changed, so did the different people who are nice to you in the community. Some who are formerly warm and friendly to you go cold and evil. And some of the ones that were cold and evil to you are now warm and friendly. So different people are giving you the cold pricklies and the warm fuzzies. Hey, it's just how it is, including at Plaza Arts DC, where their manager, Alex Donahue, used to give me free art supplies, but now not anymore. And she said to me yesterday, try not smelling like weed and maybe I'll be your friend and help you. Well, that's bullshit. She probably works for Eli Lilly or Merck or Johnson & Johnson. So the evil concept that started the United States of America was the ebb and flow concept. And traditionally, you control people with water rights. So you create a dam or a dike or a levee, which controls the water flow to all the farms and agriculture and people around you. And to control the people below you, because gravity controls the flow of water, you just control the dam, the dike, or the levee to control the water and control the people. That's how they took everyone's 40 acres and a mule in the United States after they gave it to them after the Civil War. How do they ebb and flow you today? Digitally, monetarily, or what? This is a change in the Bible that just happened this morning, live while I was on Instagram doing my preaching or whatever you want to call this stuff I do. Here's the change right there. MNASON. Hey, there's 3 ways to have knowledge about the incarceration system here in the United States of America. One is ignorance. You only learn it from movies and books and from word of mouth. One is being incarcerated and then being released, or being incarcerated and not being released. However, you understand the system from the inside, from a prisoner's point of view. And then there's the other 3rd way, which is because you're one of the overseers, one of the keepers of the prison systems. How did you learn your knowledge about incarceration? I've got all 3 sorts of knowledge because of where I come from, and people I grew up around were the overseers when I was incarcerated in Fairfax County, Virginia. Hey, that's the Supreme Court behind me. Looks like they're doing some construction. Anyways, here in Washington, D.C., you get a different view of the world and what's going on. And when I went shopping at Trader Joe's yesterday, the Trader Joe's here on Capitol Hill, a few blocks that way, has different prices than the Trader Joe's over in the Arts District. Now, the question is to Trader Joe's management, do you know that you have different prices at stores in Washington, D.C. that are just like 2 miles apart? And if you're management at Trader Joe's, how are they doing it? Is it with software? And who's providing the software? And which managers are hiding it? Hey, who's training them? Hey. So when I walk around D.C., there seems to be a lot of people in Washington, D.C. with children that are not theirs or that don't look like them, right? And remember, the founding of Washington, D.C. was for slavery, to announce it worldwide that it's okay to own other human beings. So you got these people walking around on Capitol Hill and around DC that have kids that aren't theirs. And you got some people here who work in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. They're married couples with no children. And they are the overseers, the directors and the orchestrators of this worldwide evil that's being exposed. You can't do it anymore.
Hey, perhaps one of the dumbest things I've seen in Washington, D.C. is a bunch of morons walking around pretending they're intelligence agency people, or that they're police, or that their dogs are bomb sniffers or police dogs and they're undercover. But it's a bunch of people from over here at the Shakespeare Folgers Theater and they're trainees from guess where? NYU Experimental Theater, UCLA Experimental Theater, and there's one more here in town, Corcoran School of Experimental Theater and Design, where they're not just doing theater, they're doing media and social media on us, and even making up fake wars and all kinds of shit to make sure that the Americans are as stupid as hell and as drugged up as possible.
So when I used to make barbecues, I didn't have money for charcoal or fire or wood, and I didn't want to steal it from people because I'm not a thief. So what did I do? I made a little parabola out of some tin foil and some cardboard and created a little quick oven. Now imagine if you had a bunch of drones and you could create a mirror parabola in the sky. You could aim the power of the sun using that parabola and those mirrors in the sky, say with drones, to create a big parabola in the sky. And you can use that heat to disperse clouds, to create hot spots on mountain ranges or near the beach. You can actually make it look like the sun's setting or rising a little bit earlier. Dig it. Hey, because the United States of America likes to create false scenarios to get the means to an end by any means necessary, you know, I try not to freak out too much even though I see the current politics and stuff in the news, because I actually live here in DC and nothing's really changed all that much. But what has changed is people's perspectives. Now think about this. If someone's in charge of all these drones in the sky and they're creating parabolas with mirrors to affect heat and weather using the power of the sun to re-reflect it and design it, they'd use a fake person like Elon Musk, who's not really in charge, to do it. Elon Musk is like a drugged up cokehead or something. So who's really in charge? I'm willing to say the Marine Corps. But hey, if you're really asking who's in charge, I mean, Congress, the White House, the Supreme Court are in charge. And then they got their military and their soldiers. The question is, who's really willing to lie to, well, the world, and lie to their own people called the citizens of the United States, which I am at age 53. I'll be 53 in about a month and a half. So the question is, who's in charge? The Marine Corps? Is it the Secret Service who's in charge? Is it the Capitol Police? Is it the Sergeant at Arms? Or is it some weird person hiding in a room like in that story about the Land of Oz, who's behind the curtains pulling the levers and switches, but they only get paper cuts when they mess up? Huh? Hey, when you have about 30 million, 33 million people worldwide pretending to be demigods of power, promoted by, I don't know, whoever promotes fake religion and shit, there's no such thing as a demigod. There's no such thing as power. The only people who have power are people with lots of money. So if you're one of those fake demigods around the world, guess what? The only power you have is the United States dollar and your piles of secret cash. What if they just redefine the Federal Reserve and change that dollar and you have to turn it all in? Can you all turn in all your money? Fake people. Hey, so I have a cousin who's connected to the top of the food chain in this thing we call the United States of America. In fact, she hangs out with a person almost every single night who's married to one of her best friends, who's one of the announcers for the NFL every weekend. And he used to be a Pittsburgh Steelers as well, a quarterback. He was for the Steelers. So my question is, I asked my cousin to help me today with some money since I was robbed out of my room. And she has access to information before it's online. She's got access to everything. So the question is she good or evil? If she doesn't help me, she's evil. If she helps me, she's good. And that means money today.